Welcome to the Brutal and Effective Tackling Guide. So if you are someone, you're a coach, you're a parent, you're a player, and you need your tackling to get better, then this is going to be really good for you, because I'm going to break this down like a martial art or like jiu-jitsu and show you how you can become a great tackler from breaking down the tackle and then focusing on the key movements that will make you better. And I think the biggest problem with tackling is people just haven't done enough of it. Okay, in little kids, you'll find the kids that are the best tacklers are usually the one of older brothers that they've been wrestling with, so they're more confident going into contact. And I know that for myself because I was that little kid. Right? I wasn't a great rugby player, but I knew how to tackle because I had older brothers and I wasn't afraid. So let's get into this. First thing we need is to build up our confidence, and confidence comes with time. So if you don't have confidence in the tackle yet, it's because you haven't done enough of it, okay? Maybe you've just been hitting tackle bags, and hitting a tackle bag is very different to hitting actual people because people move, okay? I'm not saying hitting tackle bags is totally bad. There's ways you can do it. I'll talk about that later, but we need to hit people, and that's going to build up your confidence. We need reps on reps on reps on both shoulders. How do we get good at any skill, okay? And I'm going to apply this to tackling right now. So first we want to break down that skill. What is involved in that skill, okay? And how can we practice those small movements or whatever's involved? So with tackling, there's all these areas of the tackle that we can break down and then we can work on individually before we tie it all together. Okay, so what we're going to do is practice all of those individual areas slowly and then slowly speed them up. Okay, and then we're going to turn it into a game. And that is one of the key parts of when you turn it into a game, that you're actually going to get a lot better. And you're going to see where it's breaking down. Where are you going wrong? What is the little coordination pathways you haven't got yet? Okay, and then you need to review it and have feedback. So film your tackling. Okay, the more you film your tackling, the better. Okay, if you film it, you can have a look at it and go, oh, I'm missing this. Okay, oh, I'm losing my feet. Oh, I'm diving too early. I'm dipping too early. Oh, I'm not tracking very well is one of the main ones. So that is what I want you to look at. All right, then you need to make changes. And that's where it's really important to have a good coach. If you have a good coach, then you can be like, they can tell you, hey, you're losing your feet. Hey, stay on your feet, drive through. Hey, look at your body shape here. Okay, that's where a good coach comes in. Now, I do offer this for my Beast Mode Academy guys, so everyone that's on my programs, my strength and conditioning programs, I do offer that because we have our tackling program, which they can go off and do on their own. If they film it, I can help them with that. And that's from online, be done anywhere. Now, when you're practicing any sort of skill, I need to say this. I need to say that do not do it when you are fatigued, because you will not learn it anywhere near as well. You'll actually could be even making yourself worse. So you can make worse movement patterns when you're fatigued. Okay, so try and do all of your skill work quite fresh. Okay, so like if you go to the gym and then you go and try and do some tackling straight afterwards, it's probably not a good idea. Whereas if you go to the gym in the morning, have a whole day and then do it in the afternoon, that might serve you a bit better. Okay, before the tackle. This is where we're going to start breaking it down. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about before the tackle today because I'm going to get into the different tackle types, okay, and how to break that down. Now, lining up. So, you need to be able to line up players, okay? So, you need to be able to line up yourself in your own line and space yourself out, okay? The better you can space yourself out, the easier it's going to be for you, okay? And this is sort of applying for 13 plus, starting to line up, identify, and talk. They're very simple things, okay? They only require a little bit of effort and practice, okay? The more you can do it though, the more it helps out your teammates, the more it helps out your whole team. Then line speed, easy. If you can do this as a absolute beginner, get them walking forward, moving forward. As long as you're moving forward somewhat, okay, we can take away that advantage line, which is in league and union. You can take away that space, all right, and it's going to make it easier for you to make a tackle. Now, those sort of things, that's not hard. That's not really that technical. Anyone could rock up tomorrow and start be better at that just because they're consciously thinking about it. The big one I'm going to talk about before the tackle, and I see this go wrong even in professional players, is tracking. Okay, getting your tracking wrong. Now, professional players, it might be a bit more because that they hurt them, like they may have hurt a shoulder or something, and so they're relying on another shoulder a bit more. Others might not. Others just might be tracking poorly. So our tracking, what I want to teach players is about how to put a player on one side of their body, okay, lining them up on their inside shoulder or outside shoulder, depending where they are. Okay, so we need to put our bodies in the best position to make a tackle and be ready for them to be the player to step back. Okay, if we go too square, they can step us. If they go to one side, okay, we're going to give them too much room and they can go around our outside. And so that is one of the most important keys to be able to learn. Okay, and this is one of my favorite drills for this.
In, and your job is trying to score over there, okay? My job is to get up. What am I going to do? I'm going to cut the space off, right? So I'm going to get up first, make sure he's got as least space as possible. All right, then my next job, hold the ball, is try and keep him over there on my left side. Okay, so it's my left side tackle, all right? And if he steps back, what side am I going to hit him with? My right, okay? That's one of the biggest things that we miss tackles because we don't do that. Okay, and you see even professionals missing tackles because they do that. They'll want to favor their right. And maybe they have an injury on the other side and they won't want to use it. Okay, but I'm going to line you up here. All right, I'm going to stay my left side inside your inside shoulder. Okay, that way if you step, I can get you. If I go too square, what does that mean you can do? Yeah, you can step. Okay, so go back.
So that's probably one of my favorite games is you set up a square, okay, players go side to side. You've probably all done it. But the big thing is that you want to do is start slow. Okay, start slow, speed it up. Okay, and once you're starting to speed it up, you need to give feedback because players will be making mistakes. Players will be going up and they will be landing on their heels and not being on their toes, okay, which means that they might get beaten side to side. Okay, they're not being active. Now, tracking. So this is one of the things that I do as well. So rather than the big square game, I do like a triangle, which is much shorter and we can get through a lot more reps. Now, these kids have already been doing it for a while, so they're actually pretty good at it. So the first thing would be to do is slow, where the player just stays dead straight. Okay, so they stay straight and then it's just a left shoulder tackle. I do left shoulder because most people are not as good with their left. All right, once we've done a fair few reps of that, all right, we're going to go when they go slow and they step back in, which is going to make it a right shoulder. Okay, so we're going to do lots of reps of that. Then, to make it into a game, we're going to do it slow as a walking pace, and then the ball carrier will get to decide to step left or keep going straight, okay? So that is a really simple game. If you do it over and over and over again, kids will get really good at tracking. And if you're older, this also works. Like you can get reps of this without hurting your partners, all right? Just making sure you make that solid contact, get the wrap. You don't have to kill each other. You just have to get the little parts right. Then, yeah, review, make changes, make it faster, make it harder. You don't have to kill each other every time you're doing your training. You need to just be getting into the right position, making sure that your body's in the right position. So something I think you need to check out is the safety, it's not mine, sorry. Check out Safety Tracker. I found them on Instagram, I've chatted to them, I've used their product before, and it's just this little rope which gets attached to you around your waist, and it helps see that visual line of you being able to track someone. So it's really handy. Going into contact now, so one, we need to be able to time our tackles, okay? So being able to be in the right place at the right time, all right? That is one of the big things, and having your feet in the right position, these are big things going into contact. They're going to determine whether you actually have a dominant tackle or not, okay? Having a late dip is really important so you don't get stepped. A lot of kids will dip early and they just get stepped. Okay, or they don't dip at all and they just try and wrap and hug. Okay, then we need to win contact. Now, we're going to focus on this tackle here because this is the main tackle I want you to focus on. It's a dominant under the ball tackle, okay? So like this is, I love watching Jake Tavorovic here in league. He does this so well. He gets up and he hits people just under the ball so often, okay? And it is such a good tackle. I think it's one that you want to aim for because one, it's safe or fairly safe. Like you might cop a elbow or hip if you go slightly off, but you have a good amount of space there to be able to tackle people. And if someone's quite large and you don't get to win the contact, you can still slide down and take the legs, okay, quite easily. So it sort of can go both ways there. So this is where we're going to start with our tackling. So first of all, we need to start looking at, why are we missing tackles? Why are we missing these dominant tackles, these under the ball tackles? And the big one for me is you see, especially with kids, as they come off their feet, they lose their footing because usually they've done a lot of practice on tackle bags. And when you hit a tackle bag, you generally miss the tackle bag. You generally go and you jump at it, okay? You can train to not do that. Okay, but here is where I like to start, okay? So we want to work on a fast dip and solid footwork. And the only way to get really good at this is by doing solid reps with no opponent. So you could actually do this drill without anyone, okay? So you could do this without a person. You could do this with a tackle bag. And it's simply just that they're standing still, you're an arm width away, and you're getting into a good position, right? And you want to get 20 good reps each shoulder. You want to do that for 3 sets. It's a bit boring, but the best people in jiu-jitsu and other sports, they drill the simple things, and that's what you need to do. Get quality reps, working on that footwork. And then we're going to move it on. So we move it on to something just a little bit harder where we're working, having a look at the body shape, but now we're going to drive through. So you're going to get that split, and then you're going to drive through. So what I'm talking about in this video is I'm talking about the body shape here. So I'm talking about, you see kids, they can't split their legs. They don't know how to split their legs. So adding in some lunges, if you can't split very well, can be very useful. So, and these, I would do lunges on the other days. And that will teach you that motor pattern of being able to split your legs, get down and drive through. I'm going to talk a bit more about strength training later on. But here, now, so the progress from this is your body shape. All right, 1 step in, wrap, and drive through. Okay, so we've done our reps, getting that grab in close. Now we're going to go from 1 step, and we're going to drive through that tackle, using our head, putting our head into the side of the tackle, getting a good squeeze. Then your next step is to turn this into a slow game. So now we need to work on that timing, okay? So if you haven't done your timing, we need to work on your timing. So just simply walking forward, getting that wrap. It just doesn't have to be fast. You don't have to take them down yet. You just have to do this over and over and over again. And then once you've done 10, 20, 30 reps, 3 sets, and you can roll through this pretty quick. Okay, so if you're just your normal player, you could be using this as part of your warm-up. Okay, so if you're on your 20s, you could use this as part of your warm-up if you wanted to. And then you speed it up. Okay, and when you speed it up, what I want you to do is think about picking up your opponent and actually just taking them a couple steps back. Look after your training partners. Okay, so look after them, drive through, and then keep going. Just keep making it a little bit harder. Okay, so then you can make it into actual live games. So when you want to make it into live games, what you can do is put little parameters around it, okay? So you can only step right, okay? And that gives the defender this, okay, he's going to stop right, okay? I know where I need to get to, okay? Then you might go, okay, he can only step left now, and you only work on a left side or a right side tackle, okay? And then you can go, you can step either way, okay? And then now they have to start making that decision, okay? And then you can then step it forward again, and then you can say, okay, now a ball carrier, I want you to try and actually beat this person in 1 or 2 steps, okay? And you can go a bit harder. But the whole time, you need to be going back and giving advice, okay? Feedback makes learning so much faster. So if you can give feedback, it helps it a lot. Okay, so I'm just providing little bits of feedback there, okay? Nothing is going to be perfect, but little bits of feedback that players can work on goes such a long way. And this is what I mean by starting really simple for your warm-ups, doing lots and lots of reps. Okay, get the reps in, then turn it into a game, because when you turn it into a game is when you're going to see the results. Okay, how is this actually translating? And this might take, 2-3 weeks of doing the same drill. Do the same drill for 2-3 weeks and see how much you improve it, and you will see night and day difference. All right, so this is the next thing I find players have troubles with is players fending, getting the elbows in between. That happens quite a lot, you know, like when you're running the ball, you obviously want to stop people. You want to try and bounce people off. So once again, we're going to strip it right back to the basics. Walk in, bang, hit, here. It just depends what angle you're coming from. So if I'm coming from this way, I might use my left hand. If I'm coming straight on, I might use that one. Whatever. I just want to hit it and get down low, what we've been doing. So we're going to get a few reps in, bang, step, hit. Okay? And I want you to get that squeeze. You don't have to take them back now, okay? So come from here, put your arm up, and I'm going to start. I'm going to walk into it. So I'm going to walk in. Okay, super simple. A tackle bag can't do that. Tackle bag not going to put up a fend. Okay, so really good one, just to practice slowly first. Get rid of that fend, okay? Because that's a really easy one then to turn into a game, all right? So let's turn that into a game. Gets really simple. Gets to go whenever he likes. He can only go straight. Okay, so we're going to start this far apart, so 1 meter apart. Okay, not far. Okay, so he's going to start off, and we can do this either way. So like we're going to start off just by going right side only. So like my right shoulder, so you'll be going this way, so you palm with that arm. All right, so we're going to start with 5 of those, and then we'll go to where we go both 5 each, and then we'll go to where you can go either side. Okay, but first one, you're just going to palm off. So when you move, I can move. Okay, so my whole aim is just to stop you. Okay, get a good wrap, solid contact. Okay, get rid of the palm. So you got the palm, on. Go. Good. You go a bit faster. Yeah. You can try and beat me. Go. Beat me. Good. Perfect. I got to drop low on that. Good. Go. Jeez, Pat, get under him. What are you doing? Anyway, that's the whole point. Turn it into a game, then you can have feedback. All right, and then you can provide feedback. Make sure you're filming it. All right, this is a big one for kids especially, that you watch them go into contact and they struggle to actually make contact with their shoulders. What they do is they throw out their arms all the time because they don't want to get their head close. And so all we're doing is taking that away for a little bit. So if you see that with your players or your son or your daughter, take away their arms for a little bit. And like you can run the exact same drill. So even like that square game for the tracking, you can do that with no arms just for a little bit, just so you get used to that shoulder getting into contact. Or just straight forward like this. Okay, so just straight forward like that, just straight into contact, right? Here's another one. I really like this one for just players to give them a target, right? Like, we all know that when you have a target there and like you're pushing towards something, it's much easier to feel confident in yourself. And so what I get players to do, just like when you're catching the ball, you should have a target up ready to reach for that ball and catch it before it even gets to your body, right? We need to do that with tackling. We need to have our hands up, a target where we're going to go, right? Hands up, it's like you're hunting. It's like, I'm on here, like I'm going to tackle this guy. It just makes such a difference. So hands up, and you can do the same drills. Ready? Hold, up. Shooting those hands in. All right, get a big shoot, get the hands in. Ready? Hold, up. Walking forward, dip. Get my hands in. All right, let's go. That's all you're progressing to. Before you get a tackle, if you can get your hands up like this, it's almost like you've got a target where you want to go. Okay, so we're just gonna get our hands up like this now. So we've gone from So that's another little drill you can do to help out with their tackling. So that was all this stuff you can use for any sort of tackle, right? But I was just using this for, you know, that shot under the ball. If you can get more reps getting under the ball in the right position and then speed it up, you are going to be in a good place, okay? You're going to get so much better. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about chop tackle, because chop tackles are really handy to be able to do. If you can't do them, I think you're in, it's just not very beneficial for yourself, because every now and then in a game, you might be put on the back foot, and if you can get a good chop tackle in, you might just at least stop someone from, you know, getting too far away. And in rugby union, it's quite useful to getting turnovers for your team, because if you get a low chop tackle, like I'll show in the next video, someone can get over the top. And the biggest thing I like to talk about in chop tackles is being really late on it. So it's almost like the player's past you and then you're chopping down. So I use this with kids as I just get them to walk through. This video is not very good. It was shot too far away. But you got someone walking straight, and then you're letting them get to almost past you before you shoot and aim for the shins and pull them in. Like you can go a bit higher up around the quads and then slide down too. That's fine too, but sometimes players have a ginormous quads and it doesn't work. You sort of bounce off. So for those really big players, the timing of this can be really beneficial. This will show it here. So I'm talking about like where you're looking. So it's all about actually looking where you want to hit. So if I'm actually watching someone with my eyes, or if someone's watching someone and you got your hands up, you'll be surprised how much easier it is to make a tackle, right? So with a chop tackle, you really want to use the other person's body weight and their momentum. If they're not going very fast, it's actually very hard to make a chop tackle, and especially if they're stomping into contact, which means like they stop in contact. That makes it quite hard. But I think it's something that you should practice. And like, yes, there is risk involved in doing a chop tackle. There's risk involved in doing any sort of tackle. But if you know how to do it, at least you know how to do it. And you can pull it off when you need to. And like, there are times where you need to be able to do it. It's just that simple. So nice and low there. Yeah, so union's really handy because obviously if someone's down low, it's very easy for them to roll away, which gives you clear access to the ball. So if you're very close by someone that's got chops, it's very easy to get a turnover, or it's much easier to get a turnover unless if they go high, they've obviously got to roll away before you even have a crack at the ball. So it can be very handy for rugby union, and for rugby league, you just got to make sure that someone's either coming over the top or you just like sort of stemming, stopping them, whoever it may be. Maybe they're on a rampage and you just needed to stop them. Holding the ball up in the tackle. So this is a really good one to practice when you've got 3 people. So this is going to happen a lot in games. Obviously, you're going to get 2 in tackles. So you've got to actually practice one getting a bit low and one getting around the ball. I actually like to practice one-on-one, getting around the ball. I think it's a really handy tool to have if you practice actually aiming for that very end of the ball, especially in Australia where it's quite hot when we play early or late summer. There's a lot of sweat on the ball and you can often jam the ball free. So rugby league, rugby union, obviously more league sort of style tackle where you're wrapping up the ball, you got more wrestle, slowing it down that way. Rugby union, you might actually get a hold up tackle there. It's one to practice, and it's the same as practicing all of our other drills. Think about all of our other drills. Do it slow, okay? Speed it up, make it a game. And then always come back to film and then assess it, okay? But it's one you need to practice because, it's often you make a two-man tackle or two-woman tackle, whatever you want to say.
Trying to get the ball out, off the other person. Have a grip. Go when you're ready.
Come on, boys.
Straight to the ground.
All right, that one's just a bit of fun. It's just literally 2 guys or girls on the ball and you're trying to rip it off each other. If you can do this one, great. I use it as fun for ball security for the ball runner, but it's also good for if sometimes like you get to go for the ball, it's actually a good thing to be able to go for the ball. And I like to get under the ball and rip up because you can use your rib cage to sort of rip out, and how most people will hold it, you're sort of ripping down a bit harder. You got your shoulders in the way, but if you can rip out, generally I find you can you'll get it more often. So I'll show it here. Out. So you can either spin. So that's one of the ones I get players to actually practice, because you never know when you might use it. Like you might notice that someone's got a real loose carry, or they've already got someone on them, and then you can go in over the ball, right? In rugby union especially, if someone's already on them, they're sort of staying up, you can go in for that and just go bang, straight for it. And just there's that confidence. Like the more you practice these little skills, the more you'll actually start pulling them off in the game. Now, we need to troubleshoot some things sometimes. So like you might see players, they might be really struggling to wrap and understand that concept of being able to pull someone in. Like it happens quite quickly of that pull in. And so this is a drill I like to do is you're literally just on a knee and you get a player up and on you and you learn how to pull your head in and pull the elbow in tight and just pull them over that way, right? You're just using like a sweep movement. It would be a sweep in jiu-jitsu where you're pulling under that way, right? Using your head to go the opposite way same time. Really good one, and you can turn this into a real game. Like kids especially love this one. Even adults seem to love this one quite a bit. So that was a bit harsh, I know. But that's the concept, right? That's the concept. And the person who's standing up, you want them to actually really try and stand up. So these are just like some of the drills that you can do. There's so many drills that you can do, but you've got to do it often, right? Like if you're only doing it like a couple of times in a footy season, then it's not enough. Like you need to be getting there before training and actually doing these sort of drills, right? You need to be grabbing a partner and being like, hey, I want to work on my defense, so I need to work on these things, right? And the more you can do it, the better. The more coordinated you'll become, the easier it'll become. Right, this is a bit of... you guys kiss? Yeah, he's not going to give you that underhook. He's holding on to dear life. Oh, he flipped him. All right, bit of a ground pinning. So literally chest to chest. Side control would be in jiu-jitsu and you're trying to pin the person down, right? Really good for both rugby league and rugby union to learn how to flip someone off you, okay, by using your hooks. And it's really about using your hips, okay, to be able to roll out. And it's good for rugby union too, because same thing, the faster you're off the floor, the better. Okay, if someone's on you, get them off you. All right, and it's all about being coordinated. All right, we're trying to get you more coordinated. So these are just wrestling moves I use more for my warm-up. So I might use them at the end of the session, especially with kids because they find it fun. Like you might set up a square, like a 3x3 square, and then you get them to do these little drills. Okay, so like single leg pickups. I use this for warm-up more, and it's just to get players confident getting in close and picking up one leg. Like you're not going to tackle that way because in jiu-jitsu you trip them generally after that. But it's about being able to get in close, all right, and get your head in there and pick up something, pick up a leg. All right, and so it's like about using your footwork. All right, the more of these drills we can do, the better. So double legs probably more. Okay, so we're working, say we're working here, I shoot, again, I gotta pick him up. What I'm trying to teach you guys is to be, same thing with these double legs, like I want kids and players to stay on their feet, all right, be able to get through, wrap, drive, stay on their feet, all right, yes, in the games, when you actually tackle someone, you will come off your feet, but if you can practice staying on your feet and driving through, it's gonna be so much more beneficial for you. That's why I use all of these sort of like wrestling stuff as warm-ups to help the coordination of this. And the more you do it, you don't need a lot of drills. You just need to focus on the little things that are going to work really well. And this is why I keep coming back to tackling a bag is not the same as actually tackling a person. If you're tackling a bag, yes, great, it's something, but if you're practicing bad movement patterns, I promise you that was what's going to come out in the game. All right? If you're practicing over and over and over again, things that are going to actually help your coordination and tackle better, you will tackle amazingly. Then you also need to have a strong body, right? Like it's quite obvious, the legs are the keys for tackling or rugby in general. If you have super strong legs, you are going a long, long way. Much further, like if you had to compare the two, upper body to lower body is where it's at. Okay, yes, upper body is great. We all want big arms and whatnot, but the lower body for rugby, tackling, everything like that is where it's at. And if you're a kid or you have kids, okay, you can start off in body weight and get the lunges stronger because that's helping their coordination. One of the biggest ways you actually adapt to strength training is coordination. Like you just get more coordinated. And lunges, squatting patterns, hinging patterns, okay, which is just like bending from the hip. All right, I notice a lot of kids really aren't good at that, and that's why my bodyweight programs, I'm going to start there. And in my beginners programs, there's beginners of the weights, we start there. We start with like teaching them how to do these things properly with weight. And we use things like bands, right? So you can see in my videos here, I'm using bands, right? And the reason why I use bands is because they force you to keep on driving, right? They keep making you drive your legs all the way through a movement because it's actually getting harder as you go. Whereas traditional, if I didn't use bands, it actually gets easier as you go because you accelerate once and you stop accelerating. So bands can be added for kids too. Like in my bodyweight programs, I say, get some bands. They're really cheap and then you can use them part of the program and you'll get even more out of it. Tackling is a skill, all right? So let's wrap this up. Tackling is a skill. Don't expect to get good at it and confident if you're not practicing the basics and you're not drilling it over and over and over and over again. Repetition is the key, okay? Not trying all different drills all the time. If you can get over and over and over and over again and master little drills, I promise you, you'll go so much further than if you're just trying to change what you worked on from last week. All right? If you're always changing your exercise, I promise you, you're going to get worse, or you're not going to get as good if you just practice the same thing over and over and over and over again. Okay? And it's all to do with the brain, it's all to do with coordination, and I want to make you super coordinated. So that's what we do in our RDC tackling program. Okay, it's 8 weeks. I'm actually updating it all the time now. I'm adding more things in. I'm changing it a little bit. And you can see all the exercises there. I'm actually going to I have a whole library there of like a couple of things that you might want to work on in particular, like if you're not doing so well at somewhere. It's only $60 AUD, but honestly, like, I give this to all my clients who do our RDC training programs. So if you're going to purchase it, I reckon you just do an RDC training plan because it's pretty much the same price. Well, there's different price points, but you can do our Junior Rugby Academy, which is body weights only, like I was talking about. It comes with the sprint programming. I'll help you optimize it for your child, your son or daughter. Beginner's weights programs, we've got girls doing this, we've got guys doing this, we've had 13s, we've had some 12-year-olds, we've had 17-year-olds, had crazy results on this, like crazy results where like, yeah, we've had kids go from not playing park footy because they've struggled to get onto their normal team to playing rep footy. Kids always build a lot of muscle because they haven't tapped into any muscle fibers yet. So yeah, that one has been, I love that program just because of how many results we've had. Super Player program, that's probably been our next biggest program overall. We've had players all over the world do it. Matty Gons has done it. We've had so many professional players actually do this, plus the Maximum Muscle program. So we've actually had guys do Maximum Muscle, then Super Player program. So if you buy either one, I can actually change it on the app. So you might do 1 month of one, next month of the other one. It doesn't matter. You don't need to change anything. You just need to tell me on the app and I'll change over your programming. So all of the programs, I actually can change over for you on the app and I can change things. I can change the exercise. I can change the outcome, how many days you can do. I can change all that. So Super Player program is all about the speed and strength. Okay, so we're staying further away from failure, so you're not going to build as much muscle. You still will build muscle, not as much. And the Maximum Muscle program is great for building size, right? We're going to be training closer to failure, so we're going to be trying to reach as many muscle fibers as possible. That's how you actually build muscle, people. It's not to do with, it's got nothing to do with volume. It's got nothing to do with muscle damage. So I stick away from that and we get way better results. So if you're interested in that, you can see all of our results. We've had literally thousands of players do it. I love it. I love the training side of it. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to put all the links down below for you. So if you want to go and check out those programs, go and check it out. I hope this video helped you. Please leave a comment or send me a message on the Instagram if you've liked this. And if you get results from this, let me know. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about your tackling. Yeah, and if you're an RDC member, obviously you can send me videos of your tackling and I can help you critique it and help you get better too. So, peace out.